Thank you so much for the week to Touch and his entire team. They're back on Monday between 3 and 6. This is the Mighty Metro FM and it's Sports Not Amplified with Andile. I am Andile Ncube. Over the next hour, we'll be rewarding PSL players for the season that they've had. Goalkeeper of the season, footballer of the season, coach of the season. I thought that the coach of the season one for this particular season would be an easy conversation. But I've had a quick chat with the guys, and seemingly it's going to be a lot more contested than I think. Goalkeeper of the season and young player of the season. What you've just heard there is Bobby Mutaung speaking about Kaizer Chiefs and the goals and where Chiefs are. He mentions once again, what we've heard as a rhetoric from Kaizer Chiefs this season, that it's a rebuilding phase. But also, he gets asked what his involvement is now at Kaizer Chiefs, or if he's been sidelined a little. And we'll get to that, and we'll usher in the gentlemen that are with us to answer that. Speaking of which, let me introduce them. As a guest today, Mankalenga Mhlambe. He's a regular on SABC Sport. He's one of the family members here. Spiwe Mkonza, former Kaizer Chiefs defender, and Bafana as well, former AmaZulu Golden. It's a long list. Hey, it's a long list. I sit in PSL. How many teams did you play for?
7. 7 to be precise.
Okay, let me see if I can get them all right.
Yeah.
Chiefs, Celtic, AmaZulu, Golden Arrows,
Ria Stars.
Ria Stars, and then there was
SuperSport United.
SuperSport, and what's the last one?
Yeah,
No, that's 6. I mentioned AmaZulu.
Oh, Sotho, yeah.
Maritzburg United. You played for all of the teams in KZN at the time.
Yeah, no.
And he scored one of the greatest own goal ever seen.
No, it can't be. Bernard Parker is the greatest own goal scorer.
Yeah, Conor Chai Moses Mapita, like from the center. Have you seen an own goal from the center?
Nadim Lukel, of course, is part of the conversation as well, Nadim.
Good, Andile, to be here. Thank you so much, everyone. It's good to see Mr. Mnandi, Dr. Mkoza.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And of course, all the way out in Tegwini, we're getting him on the phone now, is Pro Pilani. I think what we do have on the line at the moment is Opta Jabu. Is Opta there? Okay, both of them. We're getting a hold of both of them. But the conversation today is going to be about the season that was. What do you make of the players and who's done best? The one thing that hurts me, guys, is the only time I hear Mshishi's name is in the midfield of the season. Has he not had one of the best seasons of his career this season?
No, he hasn't. I mean, Teboho Mokoena has been the best midfielder at Sundowns. Been solid, very, very influential. Mshishi has been overcome. I mean, might started well the season as well. Mailula, because Mshishi is more offensive, so that's where you put him. Teboho Mokoena has been brilliant this season. I mean, even if he's the player of the season, no one will say no, he doesn't deserve it.
Player of the season?
Definitely, Mokoena has been solid. I mean, even when Sundowns are down, he's the guy that you see him lifting up his head. He's so consistent, even in the nation, everywhere he plays. Even the Cup Champions League, he's been one of the greatest players.
So influence has won Sundowns the league.
Mokoena?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. It's been
serious?
Brilliant. Yeah, I think so. I think he has to be. I wouldn't be shocked if he's the player of the season.
I think what negates Umshishi, it's he was used sparingly this season. And there were times where bam dons are meshing, and we know Umshishi to be the most fittest player. I mean, on the field he runs.
I want to get into that. Let's take a break first. Let's go straight into it and pass our greetings now to the men that join us, Pro Pilani, as well as Ulindele Moyo, who of course is Opta Jabu, alongside a consortium of guys that are keeping South African football statistically relevant. Let's start with Pro Pilani. At Pro Pilani is where you find him on Twitter. Pro, thanks so much for joining us. Welcome.
Good evening, Put Andile. Good evening to the listeners of this number one sports show in South Africa, and special greetings to the newest member of the family, the king of all goals himself.
Oh,
and of course, Lindelo, by the time we leave here, please, man, you must make sure that your daughter's near the phone so we can sing happy birthday. We missed it last week. A big gift is coming from the uncles on radio. Welcome.
Thank you, Andile. Good evening to you, everyone in the studio, and all the listeners as well, and our new guest tonight.
Well, here we go, gents. We're focusing purely on the PSL Awards. We're 2 games away from the end. We don't want to get into this conversation when it's already gone, because we need to get back to our GOATs conversation as well, the greatest of all time. Today, though, we're fixated on just this conversation. Let's start it off with, I'd love to hear your opinions on what Bobby Mutaung had to say before we get into this conversation. He had this to say about his involvement at Kaizer Chiefs at the moment, because a lot of people are asking, where is Bobby? Is he still involved? What is the duty re-election between himself and the sporting director. This is Bobby Motaung on his involvement.
I'm still involved. The only thing is obviously my brother is a sporting director. He's more on the front in terms of, the face. But I'm part of the team. I'm part of the business. I'm part of the Kaizer Chiefs family. I mean, only that, so somebody must take a back seat. Somebody must lead. We can't all be in the forefront and, trying to show face. But I'm there. I'm there full time. I'm part of the organization. Part of any decision that's been taken. Any operational issues, we are together. We're working together as a unit.
And of course, he said this a little bit earlier on, Bobby Motaung. We played it as a kickoff. Have a listen, because I'd love the guys to have a comment on what he had to say about Kaizer Chiefs as a team.
Look, for us, like we're saying, we're on a rebuilding phase this season. And going to Champions League was a wish and an ambition for us to go back. But it shows that we were not ready yet as a club because of the young generation that I'm talking about, the new team. I think it helps us now to build and to make sure that when we go, we are ready. You know what, like we did the last time, we went to Champions League, we end up in the final. And I think that's the seriousness of the business. I mean, we're not wanting to go and come back in the middle of the journey. We want to go all the way like Sanders is doing and like we've done before, going to the final. And I think we will get there. Well, the fans want success. The fans want a win. The fans they're craving for a trophy. They're craving, it's normal. We're working for that. That's why I was saying earlier on in my speech here to say that we are here to serve and make those people happy and give them hope. So it's an ambition for us to win and to succeed. We're not in this business just to be passive. We are there to practically win things. As Chiefs is a big club. It's not a small club. Our history is more about success. So just that generations change and times change. And when the time for change comes, it takes a lot of pain. And also it's patience. It takes a lot of patience as well that we need to exercise.
It's always great hearing Bobby Motaung's voice, of course, speaking on matters of Kaizer Chiefs as well as everybody else. But I mean, this is a voice that we haven't had in a very long time. It takes pain and it takes time, Konza.
Yeah. I spoke about the rebuilding phase, Andile. You remember, season young, I've been saying Chiefs are in the building phase. What's key is short term is to establish the culture back, the identity club. And long term, obviously, you can see the integration of the younger players, which means the team is looking at the long term. It's not just about, yes, fans want trophies, but they need to start from somewhere, Andile. I mean, if you pay Chiefs over the years, the last 9 years, they might have won the league, no Stuart Baxter, but let's be honest. How did you win the league, Stuart Baxter? In effort. And the Chiefs, a team that has to play that attractive football. And the irresponsibility is to bring back that culture and obviously to reconcile a team that is playing well and getting those bigger results and winning trophies.
But has Chiefs really, Nadeem, done badly this season? I mean, you take a look at the semi-finals in the MTN, the semi-finals in the Nedbank. They're fourth at the moment. They could still finish as high as third. Have Chiefs really done so badly that they need to be the hoorah that is? Is that only just because it's Kaizer Chiefs and there's a lot expected from them?
Yes, Chiefs is the biggest team in South Africa. They've done very badly this season. They didn't reach a single final. They're not going to win the league or be number 2. So they've done very badly by their standard. You expected them to. We grew up.
I agree with that. By their standard. I see what you're saying.
Yes, definitely. Chiefs standard has always been being among the top 2 teams or win at least one trophy. As long as they don't, if they won the Nedbank Cup, we're not going to say the same thing. If they beat Pirates last week at FNP, but they didn't beat Pirates, they're not going to the final, automatically they've done badly.
So even if you consider the fact that they've got an 18-year-old, a 19-year-old, a 21-year-old,
doesn't matter.
a 23-year-old.
Even Pirates have a 17-year-old and Sundowns have a 16-year-old. It means nothing. They need to win a trophy. They can't build forever because all the coaches, they've said they're building. Bobby knows the fact that they need to win a trophy. Others one, obviously, they hired a highly inexperienced coach who's really struggling to assemble the youngsters and combine them. That's why Cardoso was actually making mockery of them that, okay, they've chased all the senior players. They're not going to win anything. Cardoso is in the final. They are not in the final.
Oh, Cardoso hasn't won anything quite yet. Let's wait for him to play the final. Pro, do you have a line on this?
Well, you know, when it comes to the mighty Kaizer Chiefs, there are a lot of emotions that are evoked, and you can hear even when the fans speak about the club. I think this is the first time I've seen Kaizer Chiefs fans are extremely hurt about the situation at the club, and I just hope that whatever happens this season, they learn from it. And I just hope that the Kaizer Chiefs management, they
has it been? We're talking about 4th place, 2 semi-finals. With young players. Yes, Nadeem, there are teams with young players, but this is a majority of young players and a coach who's got his first tenure. Is it really that bad, Pro?
It's not bad, but Andile, I support you, and I'm support you on that one. And I still feel that Kaizer Chiefs need to give Coach Atlas one another season. If he fails next season, then it's something different. But 2 semi-finals, 4th place is not really a bad reflection.
All right, let's go straight into it, kids. Let's start with the goalkeeper of the season. And before we do this, I want to go to Gavin Hunt, because Gavin Hunt had his say about what he thinks about the best player of the season, and he started and stated about the goalkeeper. Here's what he had to say.
I don't think a goalkeeper should win Player of the Year. No chance. That means your team's been struggling. You've been defending. No, I think he's had a magnificent season. But I just don't think a goalkeeper should win Player of the Year. But I think he's been brilliant. But that's not a good sign, is it? If your goalkeepers win Player of the Year on a team like they've got, I think McQueen has been the Player of the Year for me.
Let's start there. We're not going to go to player of the season quite yet. I want to go to goalkeeper of the season. Goalkeeper of the season. Pro, give me your 3 in order.
18 clean sheets. You can never fluke that. But Andile, Ronwen Williams, there's no number 2, there's no number 3, just Ronwen Williams alone.
Mkonza?
Obvious, Ronwen takes the lead, Andile with 18 clean sheets. Melusi Buthelezi, for me, though he didn't finish.
The new Buccaneer.
Yeah, the new Buccaneer. And then Magula from Richards Bay started so well until Manjeba collapsed. But other than that, Ronwen is Tatela Yonagam.
Buthelezi had a fantastic season before he got injured.
Yeah,
there was even called 9 clean sheets, but also they were amongst, if not number 1 at the time, even before Hansan,
number 3.
As far as conceding goals as well. Nadeem, you agree? This is an easy one. Ronwen, there's not even 2 and 3.
No. There is 2 and 3. Actually, the Richards Bay goalkeeper in the first 15 games of the season was brilliant. I don't know what happened the second season. they collapsed, but he was brilliant. He had the first half of the season, he had more clean sheets than anyone. Ronan Williams, yes, number 1, obviously, without even, there's no debate with him. If there's number 2, Buthelezi, yes, he has done well, but Ronan Williams just been brilliant. He's way ahead of everyone.
Opta, what do you have for us as far as goalkeepers are concerned?
Andile, I think the standout stat is that Ronan Williams has kept 18 clean sheets, which is a new record in PSL history. No keeper in PSL history has ever kept 18 clean sheets in a single season.
That's amazing. Who had held the record at 17?
It was Moinib Joseph from 2009-10 at Orlando Pirates.
Gee, so what is it? 13 years. That was held. 13 years until he broke. Okay, let's move on now. Let's move on to one that I also thought would be an easy one, but it doesn't look like it. Coach of the season. Coach
of the season, Jose Riviera.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, let me not disturb you. Carry on. Askis, no, go for it.
He has reached 2 finals, and obviously the second position, and there is a CAF spot. But I believe, for me, I'm looking at the performance and influence of the coach, which is key. I know about Pegama stats, which is key also, but I look at the influence. When you see Pirates, you see a reflection of a coach that is brave, consistent in terms of the tactics and selection. That is why Pirates has done well this season. And then number 2, Zoinigo Rulane. I think Rulane got season. So Rivera winner because Ukali season ne Pirates from the team Washanganisama Cable Andile. But then he coaches 3. I'll give it to Kevin Hunt. Second position, abasainanga ne player ku SuperSport, integration of the younger players into that SuperSport team.
I think ngizobuza ama-question because I've got so many. Nadeem?
Yeah, my coach of the season is Roland Mkwena, simply because he just went 11 consecutive matches without losing even a single match. Even though he didn't start, he only coached 19 matches as a senior head coach at Sundowns, as the main one. But you remember, he was a co-coach with Mangoba Mngqithi. There wasn't that thing that Mangoba is head coach, Rulana was an assistant coach. They were
even those victories you give,
they were co-coaches. I don't know why Sundowns decided to be unfair on Mangoba and spin it, and then they say, no, you were the head coach, now we're struggling. Then they elevated Rulana to the head coach. They were both coaches. Then they decided just to relegate Mangoba to be the third guy. And then Rulana Mkwena, the fact that Sundowns are champions, won the league, by December, we already knew that Sundowns was going to be difficult to even catch them. And then if you look at Rivera at Pirates, I have a problem with this guy because sometimes he plays right back, left back as a right back. No Marco. There's two. Monyane is a right back and Shandu is a right back.
Does it fit into the tactics?
No, they do.
How,
I mean,
serious.
So you've got an issue with his tactical approach. But what if his tactical approach is what's put him in the final now? It's won him a trophy. And
that's
he's
the problem.
position.
That's the problem. He lost to Sundowns twice. He lost to Kaizer Chiefs twice. He only beat SuperSport in the top 4 teams. Only a penalty goal against SuperSport United in the league. He didn't beat Chiefs and Sundowns all the matches because they're small teams. He knows how to beat the small teams, but the big teams, he really strike against them because they know they cannot be fooled by him. That's why he's dangerous against these lower bottom teams. He couldn't beat Atazwane. I mean, he couldn't give Gavin Hunt with that, of course, with that penalty. First leg, it was 0-0. So Sundowns, they beat him home and away without even scoring a single goal against Sundowns. So I cannot say that guy is better than Rulane. Is the best coach in the PSL. Even Gavin Hunt, with him, I'm actually will think Gavin Hunt is number 2 for me in coach of the season.
So Riviero's third?
Of course, he has to be 30 because if you look at the squad of SuperSport United, as Konza said, they didn't sign anyone. They just promoted so many players and got players on loan. Even Lipasa, you were impressed when he scored 2 goals because he knew that SuperSport United didn't have that kind of quality. Rivero, for me, Pirates have one of the best squad, almost the same with Sundowns. He should have done a bit better. He should not be like 20 points ahead from Sundowns. That's why I feel, yes, winning the cup, he has done well. Even he nearly spoiled it. I mean, the technical team of Pirates, you see, they started the game very well against Kaizer Chiefs. His substitution, you can see that Rivero still needs to improve. I always see the guy, so that I cannot talk to him about football matters when I see him. I need to get the permission from Tandit Orlando Pirates, but I always see him somewhere in Joburg almost every week. But I just say, hi, coach.
Let us know. Let us know. We don't believe you. Pro, come in on this conversation. Goalkeeper, we've covered. It was an easy one. You gave us one. What about coach? Is it as simple?
Rolande Mokoena, simple as that. But in the interest of the conversation, I can say to you, I'll add Jose Riviero, obviously, for reaching 2 finals, and also for finishing second in the league. And I'll also add Brendan Truter as well in the conversation. I think where he took Sekhukhune United to where they are, you look at where he left at Amazulu, he left them in the MTN semi-final. Look at what he's doing at Sekhukhune at the moment. I think Brendan Trotter deserves the respect.
If you're going to throw in Brendan Trotter in there, I'm going to then ask about Athazwane. Athazwane is in 4th, ahead of Brendan Trotter. Athazwane made it to 2 semi-finals, which is more achievement than making it to 1 final. I'll throw that in there. Speaking of which,
Brendan Trotter made semi-final with Amazulu. He also made semi-final with Sekhukhune.
And final, actually, he's right. He's right.
Mentioned.
Because we forgot the Amazulu, yeah. We forgot that he started at Amazulu. But listen to this. This is what Athazwane had to say on numbers and himself at Kaizer Chiefs.
We've done a lot of things good when you compare to where we come from, changing the squad. It was never going to be easy anyway. But hence I said I'm very proud of the players. We are only left with 2 games, and when you look at the stats, and they always say stats don't lie. Go and check the stats of the Kaizer Chiefs past 3 seasons. Then you'll see that there is a lot of improvement in this squad compared to the previous squads that we have assembled.
So that man there,
yeah,
he says the stats don't lie. They've done well. They've done better. You look at the fact that Pilana is bringing up a coach that's 3 places under him.
Yeah,
where does he fit in this conversation, Mkhonto?
I look at Chiefs, Andile. Have Chiefs done bad this season? Yes, in terms of not getting the trophies, but in terms of the work put, in terms of the long term, I think what has done so well, Andile. But what is key, it's people need to understand. Yes, when you are building, we are bound not to win trophies. You have to pay the school fees, which Chiefs have done this season. And if you pay and how Chiefs have been playing, yes, new defense, new midfield, you are expected not to get results. But I think for being positioned 3 or 4, because I think he might not reach the 50 point mark. He's done so well, and I know that they're gonna give him another season because they've seen. Is
this inside information?
No. I lay am there. But I look at Coach Kevin Hunt, They didn't come close to what Ada has done. I know what criticism is. Are we next?
What did Kevin Hunt do?
What did Kevin Hunt figure up for results?
What position were they in?
What's the position, man? Kevin Hunt. I think if not 5, if I'm not mistaken.
And where did he go in the Champions League?
Final. Are you still in touch with Atta?
Come on.
We're still in touch with that.
Yeah, because I know you played with.
They play together.
Play
They play
together and all
together.
those kind of things.
All right, let's move on.
So good relationship.
Let's move on. Let's go to Opta Jabu. I'd love to hear from you all at home. 060-552-7303, 086-000-2160. You know, 1845. That's your time. Opta, what can you tell me about the coaches?
Andile, I think for us, the coaches and the stats, it stands out. We have Rulani Mokwena as coach of the season. Sundowns won the title with 7 games still to play, which is the fastest that any team has ever done in PSL history. Along the way, Rulani also won 11 games in a row, while Sundowns altogether won 15 in a row. Both new records in terms of the PSL history.
Wow, take a look at that. Rulani leading as far as the stats is
fun.
concerned there. Let's move on. We've done the coach. We've done the goalkeeper. Let's go to young player. I'm saving the PSL player of the season for last. Let's go to young player. How many young players or which young player has impressed you the most? I mean, it's been a season where we've probably seen more young players enter in the DStv Premiership than ever.
Yeah.
When you look at what Stellenbosch are doing, even Cape Town City, look at what Kaizer Chiefs have done. Sundowns, I mean, putting in a Mabena in throwing him in there in the DStv Premiership. Orlando Pirates and the young players have got Super Sport United who've always had young players. This is a season where we've seen a lot of young players. With that being said, Pro, which 3 stood out for you?
When it comes to the young ones, with Andile, it's an interesting one. Cassius Malula, obviously, has done extremely well. There's Jaden Adams at Stellenbosch, underrated player, but he has done extremely well for me. Very, very consistent. And the third one, I'll really have to think deep about it, because not many youngsters really
Impressed you?
caught my eye. But those two, Jaden Adams and Cassius Malula, they deserve a shout. But I just thought of one now, Oluwatu Makanya, Stellenbosch, 18-year-old defender. I think he was one of the super players.
All right. What about, because I mean, I think he's still within age. Devin Titus is still within age, is he not?
Titus?
Out at Stellenbosch.
Yeah.
I don't think. I know that a lot of people, they like his pace, they like his contribution as well. But I think Jaden Adams has been an unsung hero in the Stellenbosch midfield. I think he's competing with the likes of Jabbar, and he's been protecting the defense very well, and he's been making a lot of solid contributions. I think he's one of those players that even if Higge Bruce were to call him, he will fit well in this Bafana team, as young as he is. That's for me. That's my top 3: Cassius Malula, Jaden Adams, Stellenbosch, and also Oluwatu Makanya, Stellenbosch.
Konza?
Abami Andile, Cassius Malula, obviously, very good season in terms of the influence and the goals that he scored, done well in CAF competition. The second one is Thapelo Masego. I think for me, multi-dimensional, can play wing back and play an out-and-out winger. He's done well for Supersport. And then obviously Jaden Adams, Stellenbosch. I mean, I like his influence and how he establishes control for Stellenbosch. So these are the 3 of my Intwana.
And number 1 mark, obviously, now
Cassius Malula, the whole day.
Do you think he ended the season as well as he started it?
No, I think after he came up Bafana where he was cold and there was those issues no Rulane, you could see it deteriorating. Okay, but I believe that Malula needs to be monitored. These are younger players at 21. Remember, South African players, they mature late, but at 21 still is regarded as a young player. Needs to be monitored outside the field in order to deliver grounding.
Najib?
Yeah, the one that impressed me the most, obviously, it's Malula. He's been brilliant. At one point in time,
this is the first time all 3 of you agree on something.
At one point in time, we're saying he might be the footballer of the season. Obviously, he's fallen off in the last 2 months. Then Thapelo Masego from Supersport United, I think it's just one of the promising. That's why maybe he's in demand even overseas. And Dusha Balala Chiefs, I mean, even his confidence.
I was also
impressed with him. I mean, that's credit where maybe you'll see that they're building. But they can't use him as an excuse that they're building, because he looks like he's ready just to dominate the PSL. If he can start more games, I think he's already gotten a couple of goals at Kaizer Chiefs. Ndusha Balala, I actually think is one of them. But obviously, it's a bit behind of Masego and Malula.
You didn't say anything about Ndu?
Yeah, I didn't say, because influence Andile needs to be, for me, it's a short. Yes, he hasn't played so many matches. So it's difficult to be consistent when you're pinpointing your spotlight. Influencer needs to be seen, I need to use him more.
You agree, Pro?
You must SMS him to use him.
For me, I don't think that he really fits this conversation. I don't think that he has done enough. Obviously, he's got the crowd behind him and he's exciting and all those kind of things. But where it matters the most, I don't think that he's a productive player at the moment. I think he just plays for the crowd. Yes, there are 2 goals here and there, but I don't think that he really deserves to be mentioned in a conversation about consistent players in the league.
Ganjan, bro.
No, he has to be the 19. You're talking about young players. I think he has to be.
Yeah, but I mean, he's not saying via age.
But
He's saying via what he's done on the pitch. He doesn't think.
If you look at what Oletu Makanya has done, if you look at what Jaden Adams has done, even Fondo Tigas at Royal AM has done better than him too, in my opinion. So I don't think that he is even one of the.
That's the thing. Playing for Stellenbosch and Kaizer Chiefs is so difficult.
Expectations are different.
No, but we're not judging who you play for. We're judging who's been the better player.
We're not talking about the profile of the team they are playing for. We are talking about their individual contribution in the game.
Because we can't. If we start doing that,
if you have sat with the Chiefs fans on the stand, you will hear how disappointed they are whenever Mdu plays in the team. The amount of goals that he loses, the decisions that he makes in the final third, they are always disappointed, but they will always cheer him on because he's 19 and they're trying to encourage him. But his end product, for me, is what makes me not to mention him in my top 3.
Definitely, if I talk top 3 players in the PSL, I will include him to Shabalala all day because he's one of those players. Even if you can throw him in the national team, you can still have that confidence that he has.
Bafana.
Yes.
Under 23s.
Even in Bafana, he's one of those players. I mean, if you look at 19 years old.
David Notwane what happened in Congo. You must ask David Notwane what happened in Congo. He will tell you.
Yeah, but Congo and Kaizer Chiefs is so different.
It's 6:36 on the Mighty Metro FM. It's Sports Not Amplified with Andile. We're going to take a break, but before we do that, let's talk to Opta Jabu. Follow Opta Jabu for all the best stats. And if you want to know anything statistically about the PSL era, which is the era that we like to cover when we speak about GOATs, and of course in this conversation here, young players, Opta, what do you have?
Standing out, Andile, we have Cassius Mailula, who has, of course, 9 goals this season. Earlier on in the season, he became the youngest player to score a brace for Sundowns since 1999, when Rafael Chuku did the same, although there are questions there about the age.
How old was Rafael at the time in 1999?
He was 21 as well, 21 and a bit.
Okay,
so just about the same age, probably a few days apart.
All right.
But overall, for players under 23, Mailula is first for goals. He's first for expected goals, meaning he puts himself in the best positions in the league for players under 23 to score. He's first for shot accuracy as well, hitting the target with every other shot that it takes, so he's on 50%. And in the whole division, he's second when you include players of all ages. He's just behind only one player.
Are you listening to that? Cassius Mailula is in the top 2 of players on shot accuracy. So 50% of his balls are accurate.
Technical quality.
It's been brilliant. I mean, yeah.
Wow. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we go to the big one now. It is the player of the season.
Okay, but we mustn't make a mistake and say goal scorers are good players. There are players who don't have to necessarily score goals. That's the problem where people look at who has scored more goals and they say is the best player. It doesn't go like that.
I mean, that's why there's a category for that. That's why you get awarded.
But put Andile, Unadi must be consistent on this one because we are going to remind him. This very same comment that he just made now.
It will come back to him.
He's going to say something contrary to it. You just watch this page.
No, it doesn't matter. But what I'm saying now, actually, I even disagree with you because Mkwena has not scored more than 3 goals at Sundowns, but he's my player, one of my players of the season. If Saleng was not that brilliant,
but you were telling us.
No, but you cannot. You are not a Sangoma. You cannot tell me about the future. You cannot tell me that in future, Saleng has been scoring goals and is also assisting. He has lifted the team up. That's why I say he's the player of the season.
Does it mean he's better than Mukwena?
Of course, it's better than Mukwena.
Let's take a break. We're getting into that conversation. That's the conversation we're going into. I see all of you saying your piece. Yes, Bonelo hashtag Inkunze. Bonelo alphelanga le kamera. Emangushe naloke. Uthi hey, anzukwazi ukuyishokele. Ha Nadim, just know that he's not a huge fan. And then Abdul Jabbar James, goalkeeper Ronan Williams, defender Nkosinathi Sibisi, midfield Teboho Mokoena, striker Shadulile. I mean, of course, there isn't that particular category. Coach Rulani, players player, Temba Zwane, player of the season Teboho Mokoena. That's the one we're going into.
Call Call the Metro FM live studio 0860 002 160.
We're going into the last category. Coming out of that, we hand it over to you. I see you on Twitter already. So many of you have so much to say. So bring it on to the air. It's 060-552-7303 as your WhatsApp and 086-000-2160. You know the guys don't shy away from anything they've said. They're able to defend it. But also, here on Metro, here on Sports That Amplified with Andile. Hey, when you come with good points and you're right, we give it to you.
Yeah,
we say, no, you're right. Hey, actually, you know, that's what football is.
Yeah.
That's why Gavin Hunt was saying, you know, I don't think that a goalkeeper should win. But, you know, depends on how you look and you love football. And that's what this is. It's a conversation. So let's go to the last one here. PSL Player of the Season. I don't remember a season when it wasn't as blatant as this. I mean, when Mshishi won it, we knew it was Mshishi. When Vilagazi won it, we knew it was Vilagazi. You know, I could go on. Even when Kune won it as a keeper, it was pretty evident that, you know, he was the best player. This season, it's not so easy. Or do you disagree?
Because Tembazwane no longer qualifies to be mentioned in these conversations because of his greatness, I'll give it to Tebogo Mokoena.
But why? Why don't you mention him if you think he deserves to be here?
Tembazwane has gone beyond these awards. I think he needs to be mentioned when you talk about the best players in Africa, no longer on the continent. This is the most respected footballer at Mamelodi Sundowns. Wherever you go in Africa, the first player they will talk about is Tembazwane. And that's how massive Tembazwane is. So hence for me, I don't think that he's even worth to be mentioned in this kind of awards. But that it may, Tebogo Mokoena has been outstanding for me this season. Without a shadow of a doubt, I'll give him the football of the season.
Do you have a second or third?
There's no second or third with Andile. That's how great Tebogo Mokoena is. The second or third can be debated by Mkonza and Nadine.
Mkonza, we'll ask you again.
Andile, the first one, football of the season, Ronwen Williams, already clean sheet, Sisi Kulumen in 26 matches. High influential goalkeeping actions has helped Sundowns in the league. We've seen the influence that he has given Sundowns. So there's a direct influence, Kumago results and the performance of Sundowns. And then the second one will Enfrugi Spina le Andile. Marcelo Allende. I know he hasn't played much. But for me, influence in that
Marcelo Allende at Sundowns.
If you go watch Allende, you see influence. I know Tebogo has came in that vital position. We call it a deep lying playmaker. But I thought Marcelo Allende and then I told you out go Arsene Wenger for nothing. Go te shisa and angifuna ukukhuluma ngama tag 50 million
the most expensive player.
But again, the third one will be Munapule Saleng. The reason being Usaleng for me Andile contribution is in the final third. Let's be honest at that. But does it tick all the performance requirements? Definitely no.
What do you mean? What doesn't it tick?
It takes technically, and obvious social aspect, psychologically. The reason I'm saying psychologically, you look at bigger matches. Big players perform in bigger matches. BMT.
Oh, you said he didn't perform against Sundowns. Yes, he didn't perform in the derbies.
Sundowns he performed. Go MTN 8. The first game where he scored, he scored. The first leg. But let's look at after those matches. What happened? Consistent. And I spoke about the staying power, performance staying power. Even the cricket players, they struggle with that. So Nabo Saleng, they've been struggling with that. Where he gives a good performance, you expect him to be consistent, come back with a good performance in bigger matches. We've seen good derby. The last 3 derbies, has he performed? Is good contribution in the final third. But what a good player. I'm not.
There's work to be done, is what you're saying.
Yes, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I don't have to disagree with Pilano or Mkonza, but I'll have to focus on my own players. Saleng is the player of the season simply because
Munapule Saleng of Pirates
course,
is the best player this season.
Definitely, he's the best player this season because of how he assisted Pirates win the MTN 8. I mean, he was brilliant when they beat Sundowns in the semi-final.
That's it.
No,
and
that's footballer. Let's go to PSL player of the season.
Yeah.
Again, I did say last time that if it was not for him at Pirates will be fighting relegation. Yes, it will be. Without if you minus his goals, he has been coming with match-winning goals since he took over. Pirates were struggling. Before he started, Pirates have only won 5 matches. he has really elevated Pirates to another team. If you can, maybe our guy in Cape Town, Optajabu, Mana is selling his goals and all his contribution assist, you find Pirates with like Swallows there, 37 points.
There's actually a stat here that Opta's going to give us based on
exactly. Saleng is the player of the season because without him, that's how good. Without Alain, the Sundowns will still be there. Without Mailula or Mkwena, Sundowns will still be there. They just have so many players. There's a reason why Tembazwane were not even saying the player of the season because Mkwena has outshined him this season. Mkwena has been better. Not what Plan is saying that, because he's the best player in Africa. That's nonsense. Mkwena has been the best player at Sundowns this season ahead of Tembazwane. That's why even Rulana Mkwena said the same thing and Gavin Hunt was saying the same thing that this season will give it to Mkwena. There's nothing like a player cannot be counted as the best in the
at 18:45.
Exactly.
Calls have gone crazy already.
We can't count the player and say is the best in this season. That's how good
it is. So player of the season, you don't think Ronan Williams?
I think he is among them. You remember?
No, I mean number one. You don't think Ronan Williams?
No. Of course, Saleng is ahead of him. Williams.
But now we're talking about Ronwen.
Mina?
What number one? Ronwen. All right, you know what? Let's.
No. Ronald Williams has to be my number 2. Saleng is number 1. Because without, I mean, they've got 2 world-class top goalkeepers by the PSL standard. Onyango as well as Kennedy Mwene. Sundowns, without Williams, they will still come in and do the job. I mean, it's not like they did badly before they were dropped. It's just that they paid SuperSport a lot of money to start him. They have to give him a chance, and he did well. It's not last season Sundowns won the league without Williams. It's not like he did something that the other goalkeepers have failed to do.
He did. It's called 18 clean sheets.
No, but they win the league. I mean, talking about winning the league.
They've never won it like this.
Yeah. Last season they also
but not with this much of a margin and this early.
But also,
so you will think they improved with the Allende, with Mailula's goals, Mayema. They had a lot of attacking forces, and Shaulile. They had a lot of scoring people up front. That's where you will see that's why they won the league. It's not because of the goalkeeping. If you look at Onyango's contribution, it's almost equal as Ronan Williams.
Opta wants to back up your stat on Munapule Saleng because I see he's got something here. Opta, what do you have on Saleng?
Andile, we can start on Saleng and say that when he plays, or rather when he scores, Orlando Pirates win every single game. So they have a 100% winning record when Saleng is on the score sheet.
The statistic that I want from you, Mr. Lindelo, how many games, without his goals or contributions, Pirates will be on how many points?
Well, he's going to have to go and look
that before the end of
he's going to try and look. Please look that up till the end of the show. We want to know if he's part of a collective and a team, but it's what Nadeem wants, so we'll get to that. But the stat is, Orlando Pirates have a 100% winning record when he scores. And this has happened 14 in 10 matches.
And you cannot say that with all of the Sundowns players and say Mailula on all of them.
Right, let's take the calls. Let's go straight into it. It's your time. Eguruleni, David.
Good evening. I would like to welcome Skesheshe on the board.
Hey,
thank you so much, good man.
Skip him strong. No. Skip him strong. Talk to me, David. You know I have a lot of calls on a Friday.
That is the ambassador of Eastern soccer.
No, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. Let me also have an input, Ms. I think when we look for a player of the season, we should look averagely of how many games they played and their contribution. But if you check, they're only out of my own list, my minimum with my limited knowledge maybe of the game. But I would like to put 2 names that are leading in this race.
Go for it.
There is only Williams and Saleng.
But I mean, if you're talking about Tebogo Mokoena, you're talking about a person who's number 1 in the league for total complete passes. No other player has made more total complete passes than Tebogo Mokoena. He's also the 3rd in the league for final third passes.
I understand you. If I were to ask you, this man, whether he is in and out of the game, Sundowns can still achieve that. I mean, a player of the season should be somebody who is able to carry the team on his shoulders, and his absence should be really felt.
All right. No, I hear what you're saying, David.
I'm talking of quality. A person like Ronan Williams, the way I value him so much is that he has proved himself beyond reasonable doubt that he is either if you check as a goalkeeper, his anticipation on crosses is excellent.
Thank you so much, David.
One-on-one, you cannot compare him to any goalkeeper in the league. And I also value his distribution as well adding to him.
I appreciate
Then I
it.
come to Saleng.
David Yangshaya, David, very quickly, tell me about Saleng.
Saleng is good. He carries Pirates. If he's not there, Pirates is dead. His pass, his contribution, especially on, his goals are there, but I think his creation of goals is adding to the league.
All right, I have to take it there, David. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Let's go to Majoro. Majoro's out Msotra Soweto. Majoro.
Abuti.
Hey.
Hey, Ramena ndatesiyo mo.
Majoro mnati awuthaka.
Number one abuti.
Gitswikile awuthaka.
Yeah.
Go straight into it.
Let me go straight to the point. Tabenya, player of the season. I think he doesn't have to be about or now favor team thing or Batamang the player of the season.
Whatever you're comfortable with, go for it. Just do it quickly. That's it.
So naturally, shouldn't be about in that you like kapa team every favor. Na kishebile autte monna pule sali. Mametu wa tshwantse ba bua ba bolela hore na ke motho jwang ke player jwang, and the guy has worked o sebeditse re mbone ntate.
All right.
Regardless of taba ya hae oba inconsistent, mara yena ke motho o reng hunting grounding wa bona hore Spanish sa hala ntate. So I think the guy agaithola una le chance ya ho ithola ntate.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Majoro. I'm terribly sorry. It's one of those days when time is of the essence on a Friday. Let's go to Eguruleni with another ambassador of Eguruleni. Ola.
How are you, sir?
No, I'm always good, boy. Talk to us. What do you think?
Yeah, this one is a chief ambassador.
Yeah, chief ambassador.
No, thanks. And good evening to your guests there in the studio and the one in KZN and Cape Town. Goalkeeper of the season, obvious. For me, I'll give it to Ronwen.
Okay.
Young player, Mailula. I'm torn between the player of the season, between Tebza and Monapule Saleng. If bearing that his performance against Chiefs, I thought, apart from that, he was outstanding. Lastly, Andile, there's a prophet who once said that he doesn't see Rivero coaching next season. He knows himself. He's there in the studio. I believe you're sitting next to him.
Thank you very much. This is very true. If you're on Facebook right now, you can see who's sitting next to me, and that's what Sibe is talking about there. Because, we will hold you to your words, as Pro Pilani said. Let's go to some of the voice notes before I let the guys respond.
And that was before the tab, right?
No, I want to go to you before you respond. I want to hear some voice notes. Let's go for it.
I'm happy that Spiwe is saying that they have to rebuild the culture. I think Baxter destroyed that culture. They came up with the curriculum and say Bobby Mtau himself came into the studio and say they have the curriculum, they have the syllabus, they have whatever.
But that was with Steve Compel.
Baxter was playing nonsense at Chiefs, really. That's the truth. And I believe that Arthur Zwane is playing a better football than Baxter. Yes, it's not winning, but Baxter was destroying Chiefs the way they were playing. They won. He was playing to win, not to play the culture of Chiefs. And they were talking nonsense when they were saying they have a curriculum and the syllabus and whatever. Yeah, Chiefs. Thanks, Spiwe.
I remember that it was here in the studio before us.
Thanks.
The Chiefs way. I remember that conversation with Steve Compella, though, was a coach at the time. That's the syllabus he talks about. Let's go.
Good evening, Andile, and all Metro FM listeners worldwide. Kaizer Chiefs is doing well, but the thing is they don't have experienced players. If they can buy experienced players like Sundowns, they will do well next season. Kaizer Chiefs supporters will not complain about Arthur Zwane. They will be happy. They will be happy, like Mamelodi Sundowns. It's Moses Mukwena of Ramukwa. Thank you.
Thank you, Mohol.
I think for me, Coach Ngari did very well. He never lost a game in PSL. Rivero, he also did.
Okay, that's a little bit too low, man. Sorry about that. Next time, try give us a little bit of volume. Sinong is on the line now. We try to get Sinong back, so let's go to Sinong rather. Sinong, out in Rustenburg.
Hey, how's it, Andile?
Yeah, I'm good, man. You want to get involved in the conversation? Go for it. You have a minute.
Yes, plus the season, Ronan Williams, number 2, Munapule Sale, number 3, Mutobi Mbala. Thank you.
Mutobi Mvala, why?
Yes, he's one of the underrated defenders. That was solid the entire season, but he's underrated, you know.
Okay, tell me about his qualities. What is it that you're seeing?
He's a solid defender. Remember, he was converted from a midfield position to a defender, but then he excelled.
All right, there's an angle nobody saw. Thank you so much, Justin Ongata Rustenburg.
Thank you.
No. I don't even think it's better than CBC from Orlando Pirates. I think his ball anticipation, CBC has been brilliant. So Mvala is one of the top midfielder defenders.
So if we were talking about best defender, would he be top 3?
Yeah, definitely. He has to be in the top 3. I mean, I don't even know if he's better than Grant Kekana. For me, I've been impressed with Kekana. I like his timing, how he marshaled the defense at Sundown. I'll put Kekana ahead of Mvala.
All right, Pro. Actually, let me go to Lindela. Lindela, I know you were looking up stats very quickly, very frantically there. Did you win?
Yes, Andile.
Give it to us.
So if you take out Munapule Saleng's goals and assists, Pirates would drop 11 points and go down to 6th.
I mean, it's not a valid football point, but Nadeem wanted it and we gave it to him.
So they'll be out of the discussion for CAF Champions League.
Hey guys, we got to get out of here. Lindela, your little one, man. Happy birthday. You know, Lindela takes time away from spending time with the little one in order to do this on Fridays, and we really do appreciate it. We're going to be sending something your way, Lindela. Happy birthday to the little one.
Thank you, Andile. Always a pleasure being with you all.
Opta Jabu there. Pro, we'll be seeing you around. I can't wait till you move to Joburg and start doing real work.
Yes, but Andile, good luck to Mamelodi Sundowns tomorrow night. I hope that they represent the country well and do it for Alex Shakwan. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Thank you.
You can catch myself on SABC One, of course, as we give you that game there. It's going to be live. Mkonza, appreciate it.
Bonga mina njami, thanks for the opportunity. Ukringana mafenzi ne studio simnandi kakhulu. Hey, ngathi ngihlala la mfethu.
Every Friday, we will open the invite for you.
Thank you, Jaya.
I like it when you say thank you, Jaya.
For myself and my very large team that make it possible for all of you every single day to listen, particularly on a Friday, we really do appreciate it. We appreciate everything that you do. We appreciate the conversations that start here and end up everywhere and anywhere, from homes to social media to wherever it is that you catch a drink with your friends. Thank you so much for trusting us with that. And of course, the team that records it all, so you can see it a little bit later on YouTube and on Instagram. We appreciate it. Pela, Nanzomi.